The Tales of the Original People and the Hybrids is the second installment to the message called The Most High is the Creator of the Dark Race Only. The first part of this message was released to the public a little over a year ago. It is the third most popular video on this channel. Black history is world history. It is important to know your history to gain understanding of the world you live in. The Tales series are to expose Satan's deception. In addition, the tales are revealing how Satan has a counterfeit for everything the Most High have done and prophesied to do in the future. The tales are to expose how Satan has deceived the whole world.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
The scriptures reveal to us Satan is a deceiver and he manipulates people to carry out his plans. Israelites, I want you to remain focused on the deception. Do not allow the kingdom of darkness turn this message into a race war. Every culture, people, and race is playing a part in this deception led by the kingdom of darkness. Remember, I am not the one who assigned the role you're playing in this deception. My role is to expose the deception, help many turn from their wicked ways and repent. The kingdom of darkness can only operate through people who are willing to be used. Satan will use those individuals to oppress the people who reject his rebellion and refuse to go against the Elohim of Israel. Without our permission, the kingdom of darkness cannot do anything in this physical realm. Judging from the state of this world, many have joined forces with the kingdom of darkness. Let us get into the tales of the original people and the hybrids. Israelites, there are hybrids in every race of people in this world. Race was an invention from Satan. The best term to use is nationality. There are hybrids in every single nation of people today. The Most High is the creator of the dark people. I know it's hard to believe, but the Most High did not create all people. When the fallen angels procreate with the daughters of men, Yah did not create that offspring. Yah did not put his spirit in those hybrids. The fallen angels' offspring are made in the image of the lust of man's heart and the fallen angels. The hybrids are not made in the image of Yah. Yah did not breathe the breath of life into those hybrids. Therefore, the Most High is not the creator of all flesh. Through the downfall of the original men and women came the hybrids. Sin gave room for the birth of the hybrids. The Most High will not participate in your sins. Sins separate you from the Most High.
But your iniquities have separated between you and your God, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear.
When the original man and woman fell, sin was their downfall, causing them to create with the kingdom of darkness hybrids. The Most High has nothing to do with the hybrids. When the Most High promised Abraham a son, Sarah and Abraham was losing faith in the Most High because he was taking too long to fulfill what he promised. They decided to help Yah out, and Ishmael came along. Because this was done through the works of man's hand, Ishmael became a thorn to Isaac and his descendants. Until this day, Ishmael is a thorn to the Israelites. Like Abraham and Sarah, the original men and women created a thorn through the hybrids, and that thorn has been a pain for multiple generations. The indigenous population of every land on this earth still dwell in their land. They just gain new names, the black race. Every land on this earth is populated by Yah's creation, the dark people. In order for you to understand that the indigenous people in every land on this earth is dark, we have to go back to the Tower of Babel. The Bible gives an account when the Most High first confused the language of the people. Before the Most High confused their language, everyone spoke one language. Israelites, that is why there are multiple languages spoken all over the world. When the Most High confused his creation's language, everyone went their separate ways.
And the whole earth was of one language, and of one speech. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech.
After the Most High confused the language of the people, Yah scattered the people all over the world.
So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
This is why there were people living in the Americas before Christopher Columbus claimed to discover North, South, and Central America, the New World. Israelites, when the Most High scattered the indigenous people all over the world, this was after the flood.
These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood.
Since the scattering of the people took place after the flood, the indigenous population have been in their land ever since the Most High scattered them during the time of Babel. Noah's sons, Japheth, Ham, and Shem, repopulated the entire world. Noah's 3 sons were dark indigenous people. If you're not convinced that the indigenous people in every continent are dark, a few months ago, there was a front page story of a Christian man trying to convert a remote tribe living on an island to his pagan belief Christianity. He was killed. That specific tribe is known to be indigenous to the island. They have zero contact with modern society. They are known to be one of the few uncontacted people on earth. From the pictures shown to us by the media trying to invade these people's privacy and their way of life, are they not dark and resemble the so-called black race? The secluded tribe are from the outside of the nation of India. This tribe is indigenous to the island. They never intermingle with the hybrids. Are they not original people? Again will I say, are they not dark? There are other tribes living in Africa that have not mixed their seed with the hybrids. They remain dark until this day. There are countless stories proving that the original man and woman is dark. Science have proven the oldest skull they have found was of a black woman. Those who refuse to believe that the indigenous people and Yah's creation are dark people, they are acting out of ignorance. Out of the original man and woman came everyone else. Through the sins of the original man and woman made the hybrids. Dear the original indigenous people of the world, you are not innocent. You are paying for your sins. Remember, I did not give you the role you play in Satan's deception. I am here to expose the deception. When the original woman and man decide to mix their seed with the fallen angel's seed, it gave birth to a completely new species, the hybrids. The original people have been deceived into believing their offspring is so-called dark and original, even if they procreate with a hybrid. Just because you have the dominant gene and you are the original people, do not make the offspring created with a hybrid original. This type of mindset is one of Satan's biggest tricks played on the original indigenous people all over the world. It takes 2 indigenous people to make an original offspring. You cannot take an original person, put it together with a hybrid, and declare the offspring original and indigenous. That is an imbalance. Whatever the original seed and the hybrid produce becomes a new species. The new species can never be original. It is a copy. For example, let's say the government wants to verify your identity. The government asks you for your original birth certificate. When you are dealing with matters of high importance, no agency or government establishment wants a duplicate copy of the original form. If the government accepts the duplicate copy, that copy must be verified through a notary public to be sure that the copy is a duplicate from the original form. Once a notary public places his or her signature on the document along with their official seal, that is when the duplicate becomes a suitable official copy. The official copy is not the original, nor do it replace the original. Most places do not accept a duplicate copy of a form. Likewise, Israelites, when the original man or woman procreate with a hybrid, that offspring is a new species, a copy, but not original. Authentic memorabilia is worth far more than a duplicate. Most duplicates are worthless and have no value. Know your worth, indigenous people of the world. If you put milk in coffee, the coffee is not diluted. In addition, the coffee is no longer black. My question to you, indigenous people all over the world, if you are truly making pure offspring with a hybrid, why is there several other race of people today? Remember, everyone comes from you. Why the offspring you create with the hybrids look nothing like you? If you were creating original people, everyone would be dark. Do not believe Satan's lie that you can produce original offspring when you procreate with a hybrid. You have to use your critical thinking skills. You cannot trust the kingdom of darkness and their human agents. In today's society, there is the black race, white race, Asian race, the Arabs, the Hispanics, and so on. Since the black race are the original people and everyone comes from the black race, your offspring would be dark just like you. Despite birth defects and the curse of leprosy, the Most High place in certain bloodlines, predominantly your offspring would be dark and indigenous just like you. It is obvious what you create with a hybrid is not original nor indigenous. It is a new species. If a lion and a bear procreate, their offspring is not a lion or a bear. It is a new species. Everything replicate after its own kind. However, it takes two of the same kind to duplicate itself.
And God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good.
When two indigenous people procreate, there is no doubt the offspring will be dark and indigenous. Majority of you are not procreating with another original person. This is why there is the white race, the Asian race, the Arabs, the Hispanics, and the others. When the new species procreate within, the offsprings become a full-blooded hybrid by the third generation. After a certain amount of time, the full-blooded hybrids must breed back into the original race so they can survive and reproduce themselves. If the hybrids do not breed back, they will die out. This is why you hear of the low birth rates from the hybrids. You are not creating black children. You are reproducing your enemies. This is why there is an emphasis on interracial relationships. The division between the original man and woman is a part of Satan's deception to get the original people to reproduce with the hybrids. By doing this, there will be millions of carbon copies of the original people all over the world. Ask yourself, what kind of a person would lay down with another person they believe is not human, inferior, and cursed? They must have an agenda if they are willing to lay down with you. Satan made his hybrids program you to believe they are better than you are. Brainwash you to believe that you are inferior and worthless people. They want you to have low self-esteem to make you believe they do not need you. Yet behind closed doors, they cannot keep their hands off of you. The hybrids need you. The hybrids do not lay down with you because they love you. They lay down with you because they want to survive. They make it seem as if they do not need you by degrading you. You have to be one sick person to believe a certain group of people is closely related to animals, yet you have no problem laying down with these so-called subhumans. It is all propaganda for the kingdom of darkness to enlarge its army. Society has programmed the new species not to procreate with an indigenous person. By doing this, it will increase the hybrid's population. Most mixed or biracial people marry other biracials or another hybrid. They rarely ever reproduce with an indigenous person. Israelites, do not believe the hype about a hybrid having a small drop of black blood that they are black. They are not. It takes two black people to make a black child. Now that you understand the original people populate the entire world in every land and they are still here until this day, I want to discuss the heathen hybrids. Israelites, there are indigenous heathens. The original heathens are dark. Japheth, Shem, and Ham indigenous people are dark. Most of these heathens have been whited out by the hybrids. The so-called native Indians in the Americas are dark people. In today's society, the hybrids are the face of many nations. The media only focus on the hybrids living in different parts of this world. They rarely ever show you the indigenous population. If they reveal the indigenous population, they will group them together with us and refer to them as black slaves. We all have heard of the transatlantic slave trade. That is how the Israelites were scattered all over the world. I want to give you another perspective on the transatlantic slave trade. The kingdom of darkness purpose of the slave trade is to deceive the world into believing it was through the slave trade black people left sub-Saharan Africa. Satan wants his hybrids to believe they discovered the new world. You cannot discover land that is already populated with indigenous dark people. Through the slave trade gave the way to the theory that black people only come from sub-Saharan Africa. That is how they are dwelling in every land in this world. The tribe living on a remote island near India that has no affiliation with modern society exposed Satan's lies. Israelites, if the full-blooded hybrids are not the representation of a nation, the carbon copy is the face of the people. You will never see a pure indigenous person be the face of a nation outside of Africa. Everyone knows that the indigenous people of the Americas are the indigenous Indians. In today's society, the hybrids are the face of the indigenous native aboriginal people who occupied North America, Central and South America. Europe, Asia, and everywhere else around the world, the hybrids are the representation of that nation. The indigenous Hamites in North Africa are dark, not the new brown, but the indigenous brown. The face that represent these people are the hybrid Arabs. The Arabs are a carbon copy of the indigenous Hamites. The full-blooded Arabs are the ones who rule with the full-blooded hybrids all over the world. If you did not know that the indigenous Europeans were dark, no one would know. There are a few indigenous Europeans, but majority of them are hybrids. There is a lot of interracial dating happening in the European countries. Have you ever asked yourself why? They must breed back in order to survive. The indigenous Europeans are grouped together with the black African slaves. Everyone knows the Aboriginal Australians are a dark people, yet the face that represent the nation of Australia are the hybrids. India is a prime example of the hybrids taking over. There are plenty of indigenous heathens in India. Some of the darkest people you will ever meet outside of Africa are from India. The only difference between them and black people are their hair texture. The dark indigenous Indians living in India are not the representation of that nation. Matter of fact, most dark Indians living in India are mistreated. The hybrids are the face of that nation. Every single nation that has a hybrid as its nation's representation have something in common. They love to mistreat the dark people. The dark people are the second-class citizens. Israelites, the indigenous heathens are still here. Most people, when they hear the word heathen, they automatically picture a full-blooded hybrid heathen. Most black people are surprised when another black person mistreat them. They assume because the person looked just like them that they are the same people. The indigenous heathen are dark just like you, and they are a part of Yah's creation. The hybrids are not Yah's creation. Majority of the heathens are whited out. Nevertheless, the original heathens are still here. This is why many of us mistake the indigenous heathens for our people. For example, there are full-blooded hybrid Asian heathens and indigenous Asian heathens. The scriptures reveal to us that the indigenous Canaanites partake in numerous abominable customs. The Most High warned his people not to take on the customs of the Canaanites. The Canaanites are a cursed people. The Most High also cursed them with leprosy.
When ye be come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in a house of the land of your possession.
The land the Canaanites stole from Shem descendants are presently occupied with hybrids and the new species. The land the Canaanites stole from Shem is the Middle East, the promised land the Most High gave to his people, the Israelites. That part of the world is represented by hybrids. It is important to the kingdom of darkness to claim that part of the world. There are many prophecies surrounding those landmarks. If you accept the hybrids as the face of those places, then you will easily accept the hybrids as the dominant people and a part of Yah's creation. If you believe the modern day inhabitants dwelling in the Middle East are original indigenous to the land, you have been deceived. Most indigenous Hamites have been pushed to sub-Saharan Africa. There are a small few dwelling in the land of their ancestors. The reason Satan made sure the hybrids are the face of most nations, he wants to deceive the indigenous people of the world that the hybrids are the original people and the creators of all things. Satan wants to replace the indigenous with hybrids. This is why mixed race people are the representation of the black race today. He can easily transform the mixed race into hybrids and no one will be able to differentiate. This is why it is important to the kingdom of darkness to deceive you into accepting any drop of black blood in a person, make that person black. Another reason Satan made sure the hybrids are in every nation and leadership position to better control the world. That is how Satan became the God of this world. It is through the cooperation of men gave Satan permission to carry out his plans. Israelites, if you observe the original people and the hybrids, you will discover how easy it is for the indigenous population of the world to live off the provision the land produced naturally. The original people are one with the earth. The Most High created his creation by using dirt. That is why it is easy for the indigenous people to live off what the land produced from the beginning. Once GMO was introduced, the indigenous population life expectancy has decreased. Everything the indigenous people need to survive, the Most High has given to his people from the vast resources he infused into the earth. The hybrids do not know how to live on the provision the land produces. The hybrids have genetically modified everything. They have a counterfeit for everything. Satan has a counterfeit for everything the Most High has done and planned to do. This is why the Tale series exists on this channel, to help you differentiate between Yah's truth and Satan's impersonation. It's no coincidence that the hybrids have the same trait. The hybrids do not know how to coexist with the indigenous people. That is why they are stealing, killing, and destroying nations all over the world. The hybrids genetically modified most of the food you eat, especially in America. 99% of what the hybrids produce are an abomination to the Most High. The most spiritual people of the world are the original woman and men. The hybrids are anti-Yah. This is why they create laws that goes against the Most High's commandments. They refuse to follow the laws of the Most High. That is why they create their own. The Most High used dirt from the ground to create man in his image. Yah placed his spirit in man and breathed the breath of life into the man. The man became a living being. The Most High chose his people from the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yah sent a Messiah that has the same appearance like the original man to teach his people his ways. Satan has used the lust of man's heart to create a new species. Through the new species, Satan made his hybrids. Satan selected a group of hybrids to imitate the prophetic events surrounding his chosen people, the Israelites. Satan has a Messiah that he created in his image. Through this Messiah, Satan is receiving the worship and praise he always wanted from the beginning. In addition, he is controlling the indigenous people through that Messiah. The Most High is the creator of the dark indigenous people. Satan is the creator of the hybrids. Through his hybrids, Satan successfully deceived the whole world. With the help of the indigenous people, the hybrids will continue to multiply. Can you differentiate between Yah's truth and Satan's imitations? Is it coming together for you? Israelites, you need to know your history. Stop believing the distorted history the hybrids taught you in their school system. Their school system has failed you. You need to know your history to understand how we ended up in the predicaments we are in collectively as the indigenous people of the world. Your history did not start with the transatlantic slave trade. Before you were sold into slavery, you were and still are royalty.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth.
Recognize your value and stop supplying the hybrids with the resources they need to survive. That priceless resource is you. Black history is world history.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth make you free.